Hello everyone and welcome back to CookieRunOvenBreak with also Galcon. Yes, we are back on the technical license challenge and currently we are at stage number 4. Although by the time you watch this video, you might have heard that some of these stages actually got nerfed because people complained that it was way too difficult. And yes, indeed Devsisters did answer, although the last challenge on the last stage. So stage 4, I have to admit this is one of the least challenging in terms of technical license challenge compared to everything else so far. And I think I only failed like once, and that is on the final challenge. And now we are currently at test number 1, which I passed relatively easy. Now in this challenge, we just have to time our jump precisely. We only need one jump to complete the stage, and that is test number or stage, what I call it. I often interchange those words. So to prevent any more confusion, I'm just going to say test or test 1, test 2, test 3, and final test, and also stage 1 until 10. That way it prevents you from getting confused. Anyway, if you like this kind of content, then be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to ring the bell so you won't miss out anything that I put on the channel. Everything is free, you don't need to pay, and by subscribing you make the channel grow and flourish even more. And that makes me happy so I can create more content for you to watch. And now, test number 2, the game teaches us about how to do double jump to avoid falling to the abyss down below, like this one, jump, jump. So there's a timing precision in that, but the jelly is making us this challenge a bit way too easy actually. Now we are just going to do it one more time by collecting all of these frozen bear jellies here. There's quite a lot of at 133, and we have to collect every single one of them, but there you are. That's just how easy this challenge actually is. Well, this stage is. Everything else is pretty much quite hard to do, I have to admit. And now let's just discuss about the next episode, which is going to be the bloopers episode while I'm trying to make this episode. And yeah, it was quite a lot of pain, I have to admit. And like the previous episode of the blooper, I have to edit some parts out because I don't want for you to watch like half an hour video of me just fail the same stage over and over and over again. And now the game teaches us about the same idea that the first test 1 and 2 has. And now we combine those two tests into this test, and after this we will move on into the final test, and that will complete stage number 4. You know, some people are comparing this mode into the Island of Memories game mode, which is a game mode that Devsisters has been abandoned for a very long time. I think the last time that thing got updated was like, I don't know, like 2018 or so. So it's been quite a while since we have a story based on that game mode, and I have to say, well, yes, some parts do, but the thing is about Island of Memory is just there is one simple difference, at least in my experience, compared to the technical license challenge, and that is, unlike the Island of Memories, you have to be like really perfect in this technical license challenge, whereas in Island of Memories there is some leeways on some stages. In fact, actually no, most of the stages allows you to have some, what I would say, sort of a playing room where, you know, let's just take this as an example. Oops, I accidentally pressed the button there, the pause button. Anyway, I will discuss it a bit further once we pass through this final test and onwards into stage number 5. And there it is, stage 4, all tasks completed. and that is this license confirmation. And now let's move on into stage number 5. Right, stage number 5. And now, where was I earlier about the comparison between Island of Memories and Technical License Challenge? Oh yes, so I did mention that in Island of Memories you can have some leeways. What that actually meant is you can miss some jellies, the objective jellies I mean, in order to get the 3 stars. But the thing is though, Technical License Challenge, and most of you will probably think the same way as I am, that this challenge is much more difficult compared to Island of Memories. Because yes, both of these I will say challenges or game mode, I guess. Anyway, both of these game mode, I will say, just for the sake of this comparison, you cannot fall into the abyss, because if that happens, that's basically an automatic restart. But in Island of Memories, you can crash your way in obstacles, but most of the stages allows you to cross into the finish line, whereas in Technical Challenge you don't. And that's what makes Technical License Challenge a much more difficult challenge compared to Island of Memories game mode. Agree? Disagree? I don't know. You can tell your opinions down below in the comment section. So in this stage, stage number 5, the game teaches you about this item, which is basically allows you to make one extra jump, because in CookieRunOvenBreak you can only have 2 jumps normally, but with this you can actually have 1 extra jump like that, and that is sometimes necessary to complete some stages. And also this item only can be used once before you have to pick up another the same item. But as you will see in the next task and also the final task of stage number 5 right here, the game will teach you that you can actually get this item multiple times in the same jump window, I should say. And now we move on to the test that will teach you about this game mechanic. Also, I should mention something that I actually didn't realize this, but it turns out that when you use a costume, the hitbox is different compared to the standard version of the normal cookie without the costumes. And as you can see there, you can get the same item multiple times to create this sort of multiple jump effect. And that is basically the lessons that I'm going to learn in here. So jump, 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 jump. There we go. The thing is though, you have to get both of those boots, because if you don't get 2 boots there, you just automatically crash into the ground or fall into the abyss, as I would say, or you just crash into obstacles. And I have to admit, this is actually the pretty hard part, and I actually, believe it or not, failed once in there. But anyway, task number 3 completed, and we shall move on into the final stage. Well, not final stage actually, we haven't reached stage 10 yet, but the final task in stage number 5. And also the costume thingy will affect my run in one of the technical license runs. I think that will appear in the next episode, and that so happens to be one of the most difficult ones. I mean, the stage itself appeared on the CookieRun official YouTube channel, and actually Micmac played that challenge. Oh, I actually missed one of those boot jellies there. I thought I was gonna fail at this one, but thankfully, I guess like the game gives. Oh, sorry, I accidentally pressed the pause button there because I was so tense there when I did this particular test. And there you go, final test for stage number 5 passed. And now let's move on into stage number 6. But now let's just play a clip where I get the confirmation that I got the technical license 5 completed. Now let's move on into stage number 6. Stage number 6. Oh boy. This is actually one of the most difficult ones. Well, in like a particular level in this stage, it's so difficult that it made the appearance on the CookieRun's official channel. I think the title is called Micmac. I don't know, I forgot the title, but it's something Micmac something featuring Micmac, of course. You know, because Micmac's our beloved community manager. Oh yeah, shout out to him because the skills that is required to beat this technical challenge. I mean, I appreciate him. Can't believe he actually is a really good player. I mean, he really does. I gain respect for him. Anyway, that is the first test done, a piece of cake one. And this is not the one that brings me pain the most. The one that brings pain the most is not this one, but it is the next one. And I cannot tell you the amount of me raging. Although the one that brings me pain the most is the final challenge on the final stage. How much? I will say to the point where I just do not want to play this game anymore. That's the kind of level that the amount of pain that particular stage brings to me. Anyway, we are currently at test number 2, and it's pretty simple. You need to try to find the gap, which obviously you do that by doing double quick jump. So jump, jump. So that's the kind of the quickness that you need to have playing this game, apparently. Although I don't know if this stage got nerfed because it was way too difficult. I haven't checked the actual notifications about which stage that actually got nerfed because it was way too difficult. And I will put in the descriptions down below if the stages that you're currently seeing is in this particular technical license playthrough gets nerfed. Anyway, this is stage number 3. This is the stage that brings me pain the most, and obviously I've edited everything out so in order to watching me fail over and over and then turning this 15-minute video to a half an hour video. So I've only edited the part where I actually managed to succeed at test number 3 right here. Just although this is not an easy license challenge, the stage is not easy because some gaps are just way too small, and most of the fails that I did were just because I just failed to get the gap, and I just jump into the trampoline and eventually just hit the obstacles, and by that time it was just automatic restart all the way back into the part where Pilot Cookie teaches you about how to do it. And you know, when you fail at the same challenge and over again, and then being tutored by Pilot Cookie once again and again, at some point it's going to be like I had enough of this character and I just want him to be removed. But sadly, that's not meant to be the case, and Pilot Cookie just kept teaching us how to do it. Also, come to think for a second, technical license challenge existed because Kiwi Cookie license got expired, so we have to do a bunch of challenges, I guess, and everything is not about Kiwi Cookie, but instead we run with a bunch of different cookies but not Kiwi Cookie. So I mean, why not design the stages based on Kiwi Cookie's skill and everything that you know about this game running by using Kiwi Cookie, or you know, design stage where you use Kiwi Cookie as the playable character instead of anyone else. And anyway, that's the technical license playthrough of this episode completed. Thank you so much for watching. I'm also Galcon, signing it off, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care, stay safe, and I'll catch you next time.